All right, we're live. And this is Ann Sieg here. And welcome once again to the Voice of E-commerce, which is the broadcasting arm of the E-commerce Business School. And our goal is to display to the public, you know what? That we are real people who have a go-giving community that supports and empowers each other. Really a lot of manpower, woman power goes into that very focus that we really are a go-giving community. So I'm thrilled to have you here, and we're going to help take your business to the next level with this edition of the Voice of E-commerce. Hey, greetings. Welcome, Coach Kurt.
Hey, Ann, thanks for having me. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Christy. Welcome, everybody, to the Voice of E-commerce.
Yay. All right. So others are seeing us here? You're seeing? Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay. So just that, we support and empower each other. And that's what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is it's an internal growth development process that then manifests itself in the outward appearance of success, most notably in sales. But there's a lot of internal stuff that goes on as you develop into an entrepreneur. As part of the support of that endeavor, that whole internal dialogue, the whole, what do I do next? I feel lost. I feel like I'm floundering, is we have many mechanisms set up, resources, this incredibly wide swath of support that my big claim is no one can say that they didn't get the help they needed when they were at the e-commerce business school. It is physically impossible. It truly is. I'm not going to go into the long list of support because today we're going to focus on the 10-day accountability BootCamp. So, Coach Kurt, you're the head of that, and I think you've delivered about, 8, 9, 10 of these? We started in the spring, I think.
Something like that, yep.
Okay, so I would like to know, for the benefit of those who are watching, what is an accountability bootcamp? Why 10 days? What shakes down? What happens for people?
Well, what happens is I bring them into a boot camp in a group setting, and the main function is accountability. And, just in a bigger sense, whether you're part of the e-commerce business school or not, it's so important that accountability is woven into your agenda, your strategy, your goals, and all that kind of stuff. And so if you are accountable, you're far more likely to succeed. You're going to accomplish what's inspected, not what's expected. And Ann, I want to confirm to the audience that they're still seeing us because something just flipped on my end.
Okay, Lisa says hello. Lisa, do you still see us? She will let us know. On my end, everything is normal, but I'm not in your software of OBS.
Okay.
So, and I don't have a response from Lisa yet. I know there's a lag time. Okay, Christy just commented. Oh, she says, yes, all is good.
Okay, I'll keep going then. I don't know why my screen's being funky. So let me know if it's funky. All right, well, came back now. Who knows? Electrons. Anyway, you'll do what is inspected more so than you're going to do what's expected, even of yourself. It's just human nature. I like telling the story. My sister is a registered nurse many years ago. She was paid by a program, a company, to sit at a desk where people would come in and get weighed. And they paid pretty good money to do that. It's the same kind of thing. You're going to do what you're, and the more accountable you are, the more skin you have in the game, the more you are engaged in the process, the far more likely you're to accomplish. I love this comment by one of the graduates just the other day. She said, I'm back because, there was a time in the last boot camp, people sometimes have their serial boot campers. She said, I wasn't going to do what I said I was going to do, but I woke up that morning and I said, if I don't show up, Kurt's going to know. Coach Kurt's going to know. And I had to get it done because I couldn't disappoint Kurt. It's so you need to tie into that human nature wiring that we all have. It's the same thing like if I used to play a lot of racquetball back in the day. If I was just had a schedule an hour to go practice, I may or may not make it. But if I'm going to meet George down there and we have a game scheduled, even if it's just for fun, I'm far more likely to show up because it's out in the known, other people are looking at me on and on. So that's probably the main dynamic that helps people then, okay, I'm going to set goals. We do teach on goal setting. I could talk all day about goal setting and traditional goal setting and what's the fault in that and how we teach goal setting. But anyway, having said all that, it's really the accountability. That's the main thing. That's why we call it a 10-day accountability bootcamp.
Okay, so let me ask you, in that light of accountability, which I totally get and understand, it takes courage to do that and to be publicly accountable. And so there's a different game that's being played instead of in the quiet recesses of your home as a home-based business entrepreneur where you can kind of hide in the recesses of your house. But here you're in a call and it's public. But isn't there even this public tracking tool that you use too? Is that true? What is that about?
Yeah, absolutely. Every day for 10 days, if people decide to do it. Some people show up the first day and they decide not to do it, and that's totally fine, okay? But those that commit at day 3 for the next 7 days, they are publicly saying it's a checkoff list, and their peers are seeing whether or not they're showing up and doing the work, whether they're going to get a check mark or not. And if they don't get that check mark, and we go through and head towards those goals, everybody in the boot camp knows it. And life happens. It's good. We are merciful. We've had people, life happens. Relatives die and blah, blah, blah. So it's not like we're, hard about that. But one of the commandments of the 10 commandments of accountability that we go through, one commandment each day is no excuse, sir. And it's really, it's a mind training. I'm very, very grateful for my academy education. You were only allowed, especially, Air Force Academy. You were only allowed if you were asked why this did or didn't happen. If these words didn't come out of your mouth, you just dug your hole even deeper. No excuse, sir. Period. Okay? I was really grateful for that training. Now, there's always reasons, but there's never an excuse. You set business goals and you head towards them. If you don't accomplish them, there's one person that's responsible, and that's you. And that training I'm really, really grateful for, and it's essential for entrepreneurs.
It is. Mine is, so you were in the Air Force, I was in the sport of gymnastics, and it taught me, well, for one, I became obsessed. I first had this obsession, and then as a result of the obsession it allowed me to tap into these internal disciplines I had no idea I had. But because I had an end goal, which, by the way, as surveyed by sociologists, the number one qualifier for the prediction of someone's success, and this was a survey with children, when they were learning a musical instrument, they asked them a series of questions, and there was one question in particular that was the greatest indicator of their success. And it was this question: how long do you intend to play? And how they answered that question was by far the number one qualifier for their long-term success of staying with that instrument. Well, entrepreneurship, I always tell people, it's not for the faint of heart. I don't want to say be disrespectful and say weenies. It sounds disrespectful, but it's not. It's not like the employee world where there too, you got to show up and work or you get fired. But for people who haven't hired themselves, that can be a real head tripper of, you mean I'm the boss? Yeah, you're the boss. And so this helps them grow up and level up into the game of business, because a faulty mindset is always looking for an excuse. You said no excuse, sir? Mm-hmm. Or a reason why to bail. And so you and I, Kurt, we've known each other 14 years. We've worked with thousands, if not tens of thousands of people over 14 years together, and preceding that even further. And I note, and it's during that early part of the game of getting into a business, when it's almost like when it gets just a little bit hard, maybe a little sacrifice has to happen, that little teeny bump on the road that then it fires off I got a ticket here to get out, and it's thus and thus. And that's the excuse mindset. And that's not the bootstrapping mindset. Bootstrapping, when you see Martha, for example, she popped 200 grand in 10 months with local retail arbitrage. And people could very quickly go, oh yeah, well, she, but. And that's why she did this, that, but it couldn't happen for me. It's all mindset. Because what Martha told me is her husband, when she was ready to bail at week two, he said, no, that's not the Martha I know. So that's kind of like that accountability coach. But Martha went through 10-day accountability boot camp.
Yes, she did. And that those early vulnerabilities are what we help people get through, you know. And if they don't show up, I chase them down. You know, I've been known even to private message people. Say, where are you? You said you were going to achieve these goals in 10 days and you're not doing it. What's going on? Now, I'm nice about it because, like I say, in one case, a relative died, and on and on. There are reasons, but they're never excuses. And not to take that 5 seconds and check in is inexcusable, in my opinion. You know, and I'm going to go ahead and tell this story. I don't know if I should. But,
go for it.
All right.
Oh, is it about me? Because maybe not.
No, no. I got a lot of stories I won't tell about you, but it's about me. This was about me. I was about to go into a boot camp, you know, and I show up. I have missed. I didn't get 100% on one boot camp, but this one I did. I was about to go into boot camp. This was several weeks ago. And I was nursing a back injury. I had everything set up. The cameras are running, the electrons, everything's set up. And I like just to get up, kind of stretch and move back in. I went into the living room and I leaned over to pick something up. And it felt, the next thing I knew, literally, I was on the floor screaming. And I thought someone had shot me in the back. It was the worst pain I've ever been in my life. Period. Never. I separated my shoulder when I landed wrong in parachuting on it, but this pain was like nothing I'd ever experienced. I had 5 minutes to get off the floor and get here and start boot camp. And that's when I sent you a message. Remember that?
Help!
Help! You know,
I'm worried, Kurt. I'm worried.
But you know what? I'm an extreme being, so are you. But this is part of what we try to integrate. I started the boot camp that day. I made it. I did it in the worst pain of my life. So when I say there's no excuses, I try to practice what I preach. You as an entrepreneur, I hope you never experience anything like that, but you're going to experience some downs and some bumps, particularly early on when you're disoriented or confused, because this is a whole new paradigm and a whole new world. We take you by the hand. And this isn't about Kurt. I hate telling stories like this, but I want to encourage the entrepreneurs out there. At the Air Force Academy, the guy I ran next to in the morning formation, it was a smaller guy, and he just could hardly make it. There were times I would grab his rifle, even though I was sweating and hardly making it, to help. That's what we do here. Tell people, if you don't have that as an entrepreneur, you need it. We have it here at the E-Commerce Business School, but even if you have other resources, you're out there on your own, you'll think of the excuses, you'll wimp out, you'll let stinking thinking get to you if you're isolated, period.
Yeah. No man is an island. No, you need a community to support you.
Another commandment, Ann, is never give up. And what makes me sad is, for the most time, people are giving up on themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll in your mind, in your conscious mind, you'll blame someone else. You'll blame the program. You'll blame this. You'll blame that. But the bottom line is, you're responsible. You're giving up on yourself for your dreams, for your family, for your destiny. And don't you dare do that.
I couldn't agree more. It's the saddest thing when we see that. And we have such an incredible wide swath of resources. Like, we're showing up every day. You do Voice of Destiny every single day, Monday through Friday. You showed up for a boot camp when you felt like you got shot in the back. I had one where I was heading into a promotional webinar. This is about 5 years ago, no longer. I get word my mother-in-law is being taken down to ER. And I'm just like, I dove into my Webby and I got to do my thing. And I rushed out of that webinar then to take care of my mother-in-law. And so it's, here's what it does, is it's where you gain strength of character by staying the fight. It's more about the journey and the process. And that's a completely different kind of mindset of who you are becoming ultimately, because our ultimate product here, hands down, we're developing entrepreneurs. We got a slew of trainings, but what we are doing is developing people. We're in the people building business, and it's one of the hardest businesses to be in. And not everyone is interested in that. And that's developing the entrepreneur. In fact, we have an entire workshop devoted just to focusing on the entrepreneur, because so goes the CEO, so goes the company. It's all about the entrepreneur. So I'm excited. You are now, we have tags, boot. Yeah, I'll hold that up. They're going to be custom made e-commerce business school. Now, Kurt, just so people know, because I'm going to guess, oh, I want this. There's two ways. They have to earn it in some way, or they have to have joined a program. Is that correct? The two ways to be eligible. So as an example, at the time of this recording, all the people who committed to an e-commerce funnel mastery workshop ticket this past week, they get two. They get a boot camp right now as a thank you and a reward for committing to a workshop. And there's going to be another boot camp after the workshop so that they get momentum, continued momentum coming out of that event. Rather than, I've studied events. It's typical in the industry. People come to events and they don't get results. That's because they're not in a community and they're not getting support. So we support before, during, and after our events. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not interested in the models that don't truly support people. So we're not just about training, we're supporting people. Anyways, well, I am very grateful, Coach Kurt. I know when I've talked to you about the boot camp, you say, I really love this, and this is fun. I love it. Why is that? What do you enjoy about it?
I don't know. Maybe I got a mean streak, but I was never a drill sergeant, but at the academy when I played that role, I was just really, really good at it. And maybe it's really the main thing is I want to see people to win. I'm passionate about that.
Yeah.
But I'm not wired much for mercy or compassion, and so the no excuses I really meant. And a lot of people need that, your friends, your family, those that, oh, it's okay. I'm not wired that way. No, it's not okay. You said you're going to show up and you didn't. Where were you? So so when I get to be in that role, I love coaching. I coached wrestling for a few years. It's just like, it's not for everybody, but the thing is, you can come in for 10 days, leave and hate my guts. But if I've taught you something, I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, you take what you do very seriously, and you're not messing around, because a lot of time, in fact, I'm just going to say the worst thing someone can do as an entrepreneur is when they're down is to go crying on someone else's shoulder who also feels down. Two downers do not create a plus.
Yep.
You got to go reach up.
Right.
Not down.
I'm not making it because of whatever or whoever, because of things out there. Wah, me, fight another crier, crying against other soldiers, and you sabotage your life. Go ahead. If you want to do that. If you don't, get into accountability. Bootcamp's one way to do that.
There you go. Very well said. Thank you, Coach Kurt. Thank you for your time. It's a busy day today, so I appreciate you sharing with everyone about the 10-day accountability bootcamp. We're really, really proud of this feature in the entire e-commerce business school. It's like none other.
Yeah, and this isn't the only way. This is kind of extreme, and I come across extreme. Even tomorrow, for instance, my exhortation to everybody out there in the entrepreneurial e-commerce world is get accountable. Okay, for instance, and we do this a lot of ways. Because most people, I don't know how to say it. They either like me or they don't, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, and so maybe that's why I make a good drill sergeant attitude. But there's other ways to engage. So, for instance, we got just an awesome, talented young man that's going to come alongside, and our POD members are going to be able to come alongside him. And he's probably the antithesis of me. He's brilliant. He's gentle. He's going to take you by the hand and hold you, And so if you want a softer approach, it doesn't have to be boot camp. Just know PODers, by the way, that we'll tell you about that tomorrow night. But anyway, there's a lot of different forms, but get it in your life one way, shape, or form.
Right. 100% agreed. Can't do this journey alone. All righty. Thank you, Coach Kurt. And everybody have an awesome day, and comment. Write in, add me if this is your first time here. And in that way, you can be notified of our next Voice of E-commerce call. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye.